Nedarim Zayin Amud Aleph, a couple lines down. So, Motzah Sefatach Tishmor V'asita Kasher Nadarta Ad Hashem Elokecha Nedava Asher Dibarta Beficha, a nedava that you spoke beficha, in your mouth. So, this pasuk is pasuk. If you see, it's Perak Chav Gimel pasuk Chav Daled. Just before that, in pasuk Chav Bet, which is the other pasuk quoted in this Gemara, that's talking about korbanot. So there's a connection here that's beficha with your mouth, and that's talking about staka nedava, and the pasuk prior is that you promised for a korban, and that is also done with a neder, which is also through your mouth. So there's a connection tzedakah and korbanot. So now that there's a connection between tzedakah and korbanot, do we say that it's a full connection, and therefore just like korbanot there's a yad, so to by tzedakah, when you say and this coin is, and then you leave it like that, we also say no, that's also like tzedakah because it's a yad or not. So let's read this again. Mi amrinan kevan ditkash the korbanot tichti beficha. Just like, do we say that because it has a connection to korbanot, the hekesh to korbanot, because it says in the pasuk beficha, zut tzedakah, this is tzedakah ma korbanot yesh lahem yad. Just like by korbanot there is a concept of a yad, af tzedakah yesh la yad, so too by tzedakah there's yad. Or dilma, or maybe lebal te'acher hu diitkash, or maybe the only connection to korbanot is bal te'acher. So we know the law of bal te'acher, you can't delay in paying the korban that you promised you're going to give, and that delay, we said, is three regalim, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So wherever you stand in the year, you can't pass 3 regalim. So maybe the only connection between tzedakah and korbanot is that you have to pay up your tzedakah within 3 regalim, which that is the halacha. So we say maybe that's the only connection. So it depends. How do we look at this? Do we look at tzedakah that the only connection to korbanot is that you have to pay it within 3 regalim, or that it's fully connected to korbanot, and therefore just like by korbanot there's a yad, so too by tzedakah there's a yad. So the Gemara doesn't answer the question like it didn't answer before. At the end we're going to see what the halacha is for everything, but the Gemara doesn't answer the question if there's a yad for tzedakah, or is there not a yad for tzedakah. Just looking through some notes I wrote yesterday. So there's a question that maybe you might have heard this before, that if you in your heart, when friend came to tzedakah in your heart, you said, I'm giving this person $5. I'm giving him, and that's it. You made up. You didn't say it, but you made it up, and you, no question, you for sure made it up. You didn't just like the Yitzhak put that in your head for a second. You said, no, I made it, right? So there's a Ramah that says you have to give it if you made it up in your heart. So hold on a second. Here we're talking about, is there a yad for tzedakah where you said this one's for tzedakah and this, like, so you're actually speaking over here, and we're this like it's, but in your heart is a stage before us. Meaning, if in your heart you made up, then why is there even a question when it comes to speech? So isn't it like if we're asking a question regarding speech, it should mean that in your heart is not counted until you speak it out. So one of the answers is that there's two different tracks. Meaning, if you make up in your heart, then it catches. Now, if you want to use speech to say that this is tzedakah, then when you use speech, you have to use it in the right way, and you have to actually say this is tzedakah, or and this one as well. You have to use it, but when you use it in a vague way, that's what we're discussing. Meaning, it seems like in this vague way, you didn't make up in your heart yet or not, but you're using it in this vague way. So does that vague way work or not? Is there a yad or is it not? It's two separate tracks. It's not two steps like heart, what's in your heart, and then what you speak out. Rather, it's two separate. If you're using your heart only, if you're using what's inside, and you make up completely, then it connects, and you have to give that tzedakah. But if you're using just speech, then you have to speak it out in the right way. Yeah.
Can we say? So, for example, you made in your heart, you made a decision that you want to give this and this, and when you're talking, you say, this is for tzedakah, and this, and then Yetzirah comes in and you stop. But it's still because you decided on your heart, the second one is also another.
Well, if
can you say this or not?
So if you decide in your heart, then so you want to switch now what you said decided in your heart or not?
Yeah, now like I said this one and this, there I stop.
You stop
because like
you want to undo what you said in your heart.
Yeah, kind of like
So if you want to undo what you said in your heart and you really made up, I don't know, because it seems like if you really made up.
So it catches. What I understand is you cannot.
It sounds like if according to that Ramah, that it is questionable, the Ramah, but the Ramah says that if you really fully made up in your heart, then you got to give it. Now,
which happens a lot.
It happens, but again, you have to see how does it happen. Does it happen because the Yetzirah, sometimes you have thoughts, I'm going to give that. No, I'm not going to give it. Yeah. But if you, then that's no. But if you fully made up, this is what I'm going to do. That's it. I'm doing it. Whatever. You didn't speak it out to anyone. You didn't say you're by yourself. You're just okay. I'm going to do this. Yes. And then so then that's kind of like made up. But the question here is that it's not nothing to do with what's going on in your heart. You said it, and you're saying it at the time for the first time. You didn't have a whole thought process beforehand. So you say, this one's for tzedakah, and this. And now we're like, the... Okay. The Gemara continues. Yesh yad, with a little bet is. By the way, we see that little aleph, af tzedakah yesh yad, the Shulchan Aruch is posek, there is a yad for tzedakah. So when you say, and this, it would include that for tzedakah as well. We're going to see more in the Ran. Well, the little bet is, yesh yad lehefker, or dilma en yad lehefker. Is there a yad when it comes to hefker or not? Hefker is when you want to not own something anymore. So let's say I own this watch. I'm just saying this as a joke.
Thank you very much.
So I say this is
a nice one.
This is hefker. That means this is now ownerless. Someone could come and say, "Oh, thank you." Yeah, so the kids in school, my kids also, they say my kids are drinking a Slurpee or whatever. So my kids say hefker, right? And then we say koine. They want to say kone. Like I buy it. I own it. So that's how the kids would give away things. So like they know everyone
from that age.
Not a business, but they know that all the other kids want their Slurpee. The siblings, whatever they're finding with, they're done with it. Like who wants it? Because also, let's say you're walking somewhere. So I'm just giving an example. That's what I always when I see. That means if you're kone, if you're gonna get it, that means you have to throw out the cup. You have to take care of it. Also, you get the rest. You have to take care of it. So the kids would say hefker. And when I was getting kone, at the end, okay, kone, I get it. Sometimes they play a joke on each other, like there's nothing left. Anyways, but that's the wording that you use. So, is there a yad for hefker? Now, so I say, this is hefker, and this. So does it include that, the other one also, or not? That's the question. Yesh yad lehefker, or dilma en yad lehefker. Says the Gemara, hainu tzedakah. It's the same as tzedakah. Why is it the same as tzedakah? So one understanding would be that tzedakah is for the poor, and when you say hefker, you're giving away, and generally you would think that people picking up, we're going to ask on this later, but maybe you might think that people picking up is also someone that's in need. That's why he's picking up from hefker. So isn't it the same as tzedakah? So the Gemara says, Im timtza lomar ke'amar. The Gemara is saying that if you want to say this, then so it's like stages. We're going to see this a few times in today's Gemara. In stages. So im timtza lomar ke'amar. We're asking one question after the other. Im timtza lomar. If you say yesh, this is like those charts where you say yes or no. Now if you say yes, then it's this or this. If you say no, it's this or this. So that's what's going on here. So im timtza lomar ke'amar. Im timtza lomar yesh yad tzedakah. If you say there is a yad for tzedakah, the en hekesh lemechza, that there isn't a connection, there isn't a partial connection, and the explanation here is, remember we have a connection tzedakah and korban, and we said this tzedakah and korban connect all the way for Baal Ta'acher and for Yad, or halfway, which is just for Baal Ta'acher. So we're saying like this, if you want to say that there is a Yad tzedakah, the en hekesh lemechza, and there's not a connection, a partial connection, but there's a full connection, Hefker mi amrinan hayin tzedakah. So now, if I said there is yad tzedakah, do I say that hefker is like tzedakah, or dilma shani, or maybe it's different? Or dilma shani tzedakah, or maybe tzedakah is different. The tzedakah lo chazia el la'aniyim. The tzedakah is only for the poor. Aval hefker ben la'aniyim ben la'ashirim. But hefker is for the poor or for the rich. Technically, a rich guy can also, oh, that's hefker. I'll take it too. So it's not necessarily for the poor. So therefore, the Gemara is asking, after we discussed tzedakah, let me ask also about hefker. So we had a question: is there a yad tzedakah? Yes or no? So in the yes, it's that means that we totally connect to korban. So if you want to say there is tzedakah for there is a yad for tzedakah, is there a yad for hefker? Because there is a difference between hefker and tzedakah. Because hefker could be for both aniyim and ashirim, and tzedakah is for only aniyim. So is there still a connection hefker and tzedakah? Because it's not the exact same. In tzedakah, if you want to connect it to korban fully, that's fine. But because you have a pasuk for that. But hefker, which is a little bit different than tzedakah, does it connect or not? Okay. Now the Gemara has the bottom of the thin lines. The Gemara asks another question. By Ravina. Ravina asks a question. Yesh yad lebeta kiseh or lo? Is there a yad for the bathroom or not? So what's going on over here? So what's going on here is, if you look at so what's going on with bathroom, right? So first the Ran speaks out. We never ask the question: is there yad for Shavua or not? And he answers that Nedarim and Shavua, there's a connection. Ki lidor neder or yishava Shavua, so that's the same thing. There is a yad for Shavua. But if you look where 6 lines down in the Ran on the left side, yesh yad lebeta kiseh sheyeh asur likrot bo kriyat shema, that it should be asur to read their kriyat shema. Meaning is false. You know, in a bathroom, you're not allowed to read Shema. So the question is, let's say a person's building a house. Everything's raw. No one ever lived there yet. Anything, right? And now, what makes a bathroom to a bathroom? That you use it as a bathroom. So let's say there's a room that we make as a bathroom, and the person actually used it. Then that's a bathroom, and no one. And that's it. That's a bathroom. It's a designated room for the bathroom. It's been used. Once it's been used, it's a bathroom. You can never say Kriyat Shema in it. But let's say you're building a building from scratch, right? And no one used the bathroom yet. We didn't even make the bathroom yet, but you designate this room is going to be for the bathroom.
Of course.
Right?
Sizes. So
right, sizes, yeah. So you designate. So let's say you didn't put the toilet in, you didn't do it and finish it yet. You designate. The fact that you designate, then that already makes into a bathroom, and you can't say Shema there. That's what the discussion is. So you say like this. Now you say this. So now, what's the yad for Bet HaKiseh? So not the handle of the Bet HaKiseh, but what's the yad for Bet HaKiseh? Is you say this room is for a bathroom, and let's say you say and this one too. So because people multiple bathrooms. You say this one too, then okay, there's a connection. But you say and this. So now, and this. Well, is it or is it not? Right? So did you make it, and therefore you also can't say Shema there?
You know, the intention was to say this was going to be the bathroom as well.
Well, it depends. Is it or is it not? Like, let's say the guy walks in, people are building there. Just let's say we're going through this, right? People are building. The guy walks in. Okay, everyone, this is a bedroom. This is a bathroom, and this. The guy walks away. Hold on a second. We're gonna ask him tomorrow what he meant. Okay, this was a bathroom. Start building the bathroom.
But in the meantime,
we don't know what this is.
Right?
Meaning, like, could we do Shema in there or not? We gotta do prayers. There's a lot of stuff in this
There's
room.
no other room in the whole building. You let me that one.
A question related.
Nowadays, you have it on the plan.
Already planned. Okay. But if you say if it's hazmana, that's
Most of the time, let's say.
If you
many times we don't.
people change things up.
But what happens if you go to the bathroom in a room that wasn't, because there's no other bathroom in the building, and you gotta go. What happens to that room? Does that become?
I don't
That was
think
my question, because kids do it.
People do it all the time.
especially
I
very
like
young.
kids.
In
Yeah.
Israel, everybody pees everywhere.
So you know.
Yeah, half of the streets are.
So yeah, no, it doesn't make it into. If it's that's the designated room and it was used one time, then that for sure
But
makes
if it wasn't
No,
the designated,
let's say
area,
Yeah,
the living
no,
room,
no,
the
living
3-year-old
room.
kid, Pete.
No,
I'm sure it
no.
happened
It
million
has to
of
be
times.
clean when you do
What happens if a
Yeah,
dog
of
goes
course,
into the
but
bathroom?
like, does it make it
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got
Yeah,
a dog.
designated.
I'm not worried about Cece,
I
but
agree with you.
Yeah.
It happened in my
No,
living
it's
room.
designated.
I
What's
continue to
it's,
pray,
it's
but
Only if it's
designated
designated, right.
and used.
all right.
Designated and used. Yeah. Okay, so let's read it out. By Ravina. Ravina asks, Yesh yad lebet hakiseh or lo? Is there a yad for bet hakiseh or not? Hechidami. What's the case? Ilema de Amar haden beta lehave bet hakiseh. Maybe the case is that he said this room, this house, but this room is going to be a bet hakiseh, a bathroom. Vehaden nami, and this one as well. So ahu, that second one, bet hakiseh nami hava. That's for sure also considered bet hakiseh because he said this one as well. Yeah, the Kegon, for instance, the case is the Amar vehaden and this. Velo Amar nami. He didn't say this one as well. Ma haden the Amar. What was the haden? What was and this? Vehaden nami betakise. Does that mean and this means and this one as well is also betakise? Or maybe my vehaden. What is and this? The tashmisha be'alma kamar. Meaning and this is for doing whatever you want in that room. So, and this is, so it's again, it's a question, is there a yad for bet hakiseh or not? Now the Gemara says, hold on a second, I could extract from Ravina's question a teaching. Michlal, the pshita lele Ravina, you could infer from here that it's simple in the understanding of Ravina, that he understands very, without any question, the yesh zimun lebet hakiseh, that you could designate lazmin, lazmin means to order, zimun, lazmin means to order, but I'm designating that this is going to be a bathroom and that it already has the laws of a bathroom. Meaning, when the Gemara is asking this question, the Gemara is saying basically, hey Ravina, you, from your question, because you want to know this one and this, that means you agree that there is designation for a bathroom or not, like it was simple to you. But ask the Ravina. But hold on, it was a question. This that you take as for granted that you could designate a bathroom and it's considered a bathroom. That was actually not so simple. It was a question, and the question was, "Hazminu lebetakisim mahu." If you designate for a bathroom, then what's the law of that room? Hazminu lebetamerchatz mahu. If you designate a room for a bathhouse, what is that law? Is it designated or is it not? Zimun mo'il or en zimun mo'il? Does designating work or does designating not work? So this asks the Gemara was a question. Ravina, wow, you just answered the question without, like, this is a question here. You're taking it for granted that you're allowed to be mazmin, you're allowed to designate, but this is a question. So says the Gemara to answer for Ravina, similar to an answer that we said before. Ravina, chada migo chada kami ba'ele. One after one, that's what he was asking. Basically, a progression of questions. So he says like this: zimun mo'il or en zimun mo'il. Does designating work or not? Meaning, when I say this is going to be a bathroom, does it actually have the laws of a bathroom at that point or not? Or not meaning only until it's actually used? Im timtzalomar. If you want to say yesh zimun, if you want to say yes, there is. You want to go on the track of yes, there is designation for the bathroom. Yesh yad or en yad. Is there a yad or is there not a yad? So that's what he was asking. Meaning, like in the world, is there zimun for a bathroom or not? Can I, if I designate this as a bathroom, does it have the laws of a bathroom, or only once you use it? If you say that you can designate without, and now it's considered a bathroom, is there a yad for that or not? That's what he was asking. And the Gemara answers, tibayele, like ask it. But tibayele, where the, if you look at the little aleph in brackets, that's the bach, hagaut bach, tibayele, nire be'enai tosfot pirush kemo teko. Tosfot, there's a little Tosfot here as well. He says, if you see the Tosfot, Pirush Kemo Teko, Velashon Nedarim Meshune. In the Gemara of Nedarim, there's different wordings to express the same thing. This is basically, Tibayla, ask it, which is in Masachet Nedarim they use this to basically say teko. Teko means we're stuck, and teko therefore when it's tekos on all these questions. So is there a yad for tzedakah or not? Is there a yad for hefker or not? Is there a yad for beta kiseh or not? Is there a yad for pe'ah, which we asked as well. So teko. Okay, there is a couple minutes. Let's see the Ran who's going to answer us halachically what goes on over here. And if you continue, if you look at the Ran where we left off, we spoke the small one. Shia Asur Likrot B'Kriyat Shema. The next one is Chada. The next bold word that Divrei HaMatchil is Ule'inyan Halacha. See that there? Ule'inyan Halacha. Left side, the Ran. The Kiddushin, okay, yeah, the first one also was Yesh Yad Le Kiddushin or not. That was Vav Mubed right at the top. Is there a Yad for Kiddushin or not? Harad Mekudeshri, At Nami, Be'at, right? So that's what he said, right? He's double marriage. I guess that second wife didn't feel, so special to get a full wording from the guy. So, Bekiddushin, Naktin on the Chumrah, we go stringent. The Yesh Yad, there is a Yad. So he says, and you're going to marry me? And you. And you what? She's also included. Why? The Kevan de Ba'inan, the Kevan, the Bayan lo ifshita. Since it's a question that's not answered, it's a takeoff. Havale sfeka de oraita or the chumra. This we go with basically safek de oraita or safek de rabbanan. And by kiddushin, it's a lami de oraita. So safek de oraita, we go stringent, and there is a yad for kiddushin. Ube pe'ah v'tzedakah. Continue on now. What about pe'ah, which is leaving a corner of your field, and tzedakah? Katava Rashba Zal. And by the way, just to place the Ran where he was in history, he's the end of the Rishonim. See, he's brought here like Tosfot, he's the end of the Rishonim. Right, not long before Rav Yosef Karo, who's the beginning of the author of Shulchan Aruch. So the Ran is placed at about the year 1450 or so. And therefore, he quotes the Rashba, which was maybe 200 years before him. You're going to see he quotes the Rambam, which was also 250 years before him.
Where is not from?
The Ran is Spain, Rabbeinu Nisim from Spain, and Girona, I think. Yeah. So that's where he's the last of the Rishon. So he's going to quote. He quotes the Ramban, Rabbeinu Moshe Bar Nachman. He quotes a lot, even though, let's say, the Ramban himself didn't quote others. There would be contemporaries just before, but the Ran saw all those and put it all together. So, Ubepe'ah v'tzedakah katava Rashba, which was the chief rabbi in Barcelona, chief rabbi of Spain, at the time of the Rosh, etc. Says the Rashba, Nami dazlin lechumra. He says that we go with pe'ah and tzedakah also stringent, that there is a yad. Kevan desalku b'teko, since we end with a teko. Chen katav Ramban, so to the Ramban, v'hichotav. The bayan de tzedakah lo ifshita, because the question by tzedakah was not answered. The hedia straight out. V'sugyan de yesh yad tzedakah, in this sugya, in this teaching of yesh yad tzedakah, the kaimala nami de kol teko de isura le chumra. Any teko of an isur, it goes to chumra. And the isur is that you've now designated. Okay, is this considered a designation for tzedakah or not? And if it's meant to be, then it's asur that it was supposed to go to the poor. But basically, if you skip down a couple lines to Vitmihani, he asks a question, and basically he says that this is, how do we look at tzedakah and pe'ah? Vitmihani alehen shari sugya meforesh di besof perak hazera velachayim shesafek mamon aniyim hareu safek mamon de azlinan be lekula. He gets from a Gemara that this is considered a safek of money that goes to the poor people. And a safek of money that goes to the poor people, we look at it as a safek mamon. And safek mamon is lenient. A safek mamon is lenient. And therefore, that's been it's a safek de Rabbanan. So, and if you want to zip down to the end of his statement on this, he goes all the way down. So you go to the wide lines, 2, 4, 6 lines down the wide lines. Ela vadai, towards the middle of the line, 70% down the line, the word ela vadai, it must be sfeka de mamon aniyim, lo mikri sfeka de isura. It's not called a safek of isur, ela sfeka de mamona. It's a safek of money, ulekula, and we go lenient. Ulefichach eni mitchaver b'divrehem zal. That's it. Therefore, I don't see like eye to eye with them, with the Rashba and the Ramban. A safek of mamon is I can't pull out money from someone. I can't say, hey, you owe me money if it's a case of a doubt. I really have to prove. A person that wants to take money out of someone, you have to really, it has to be clear. So over here, when a guy says, this is tzedakah and this, it's not clear. So if it's not clear, how can you take that tzedakah out of me? So therefore, and he says also, v'gabe hefker, it's also has to do with money. And so too, he says the beta kiseh, that whole rule of beta kiseh is also the rabbanan of not, like the fact that it's a beta kiseh, can I already not say Shema in that room that it does? Even that concept is the rabbanan. So he goes lenient there as well. So therefore, only in Kiddushin, when a person says, Harat mekudesh li ve'at, not ve'at nami ve'at, then we go stringent, and she's also married in that case. But for everything else, he goes lenient. This is tzedakah and this. No, he says no yad. This is hefker and this. No. This is pe'ah and this. No. This is the beta kiseh and this. Also no.
But Kiddushin, yes.
Kiddushin, yes. Yeah, that's what he goes with. But it seems like the Shulchan Aruch doesn't. The Shulchan Aruch says where the aleph is and the bet, yesh yad lehefker, yesh yad letzedakah. So he goes that it is stringent, like the Rashba and the Ramban in the Ram that's over here.
So for Kiddushin, it only works if you give something.
Right. If you give some, meaning, so the case we said was you gave 2 prutas to lady number 1.
Right.
I say, you're marrying me, and you, not and you as well, and you. So and you have enough, and you gave this lady enough money for both. I mean, if you gave that lady the money straight, then it's not a question. You gave her enough for the 2. So is and then we said, is there a
And there is
shaliach?
no say.
One to another. And then he walks away. What did you mean? Well, I
you're
gotta go
right.
on business trip now. Did she marry? Not married? She goes,
$2
you're
I
married.
bought you.
There's a lot of that.
Okay, Chazak, we got to the 2 dots. We will continue tomorrow night.
What's the verdict though?
The Shulchan Aruch.
No.
Shulchan Aruch's the verdict.
But is there restriction of not saying Shema?
What?
You remove the corresponding.